Hey, I'm Kalen and welcome to VIEWi. Today we're going to be going over the demonstration on how to install and use the software. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the SD card out of my VIEWi. I'm just going to pop it in the computer here. In a few seconds you should see a prompt pop up, at which point we're going to open folder to view files. If this folder does not pop up, please just click the start button in the bottom left, go to computer, and click on the AVIC. From here we're going to double click into PC player because that's the folder we need to go to. Because it's a Ruby, I'm using the 2-channel setup and double clicking on the application in there. In a few moments you should open a prompt here. We're going to select kilometers per hour as I am Canadian. If you just follow next, next, next all the way through, it's going to bring us to the last view here, which is going to ask us to finish the setup. Ensure that the launch VIEWi 2 is clicked and click finish. This will bring us to the main screen of the program, which I'll be going over in just a moment. So once we're in the main menu of the software, I'm just going to go through a general demonstration on how to use this. Right here we've got the folder open key, and that's what we're going to be using. If you don't see this, just ensure that you've got search selected on these two tabs and not information. When I click folder open, it's going to bring me to a browse for folder. What we're going to be doing here is selecting AVIC. Once again, if you don't see it, just click the little computer drop down to see more. Click into AVIC, select the normal folder as that's where most of the recordings that we're going to be using are going, and select the OK key. This will bring up all the videos on the left hand side here. If you want to select just individual, you may click any of those. If you want to select them all, click the little checkbox at the top here. If you want to deselect them all, just unclick that box. So from here, since we've got them all selected, I'm just going to knock off a couple. I'm going to bring some up for a demonstration. I've got 3 selected, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to click chain play. This is going to bring up a video of him already driving. As you can see, it's got the latitude, longitude, date, time, name of the file, as well as where he's going. You can see a dynamic in and out view as well as the speed in the bottom left corner. If you don't want to listen to the volume, you can turn it all the way down. Although the VIEWi has an auto adjust for the brightness, if you want your own, you select the screen that you'd like to use, and you can either turn the brightness up or down. Being that it is auto adjusted, it usually is pretty much perfect, but if you do need a little extra tuning, you can use it. Over here you can see that we can select either satellite or map. And once again, it is dynamically showing where he is going in his path. If we click over here, this is the progress bar showing how far we are into this video. We've also got the G sensors dynamically changing and how fast he's going on each force of the car. Bottom left, we can see that he's currently going 35 kilometers per hour. That will always be changing as well. Now I'm going to be covering a few more of the advanced features inside of the program. So as you can see, we've already preloaded our list here. It's already a video in progress. If we want to use the normal play keys across the bottom, just like any media player you've ever used before, you can. Notice that the VIEWi does record audio, but for this demonstration I have the volume all the way down. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you were to be collecting data, let's say for a drive here on 4, 5, and 6 again, what you want to do first is select the videos that you want and click this Create Database button or Create DB. It's going to go through, and as you can see, it's going to analyze all the videos with the progress bar and tell you when it's done. So what that just did is that just took and made some files that we can use to look up meaningful data. For example here, this road track button right beside the second view here. If we click it, it's going to bring up a screen, at which point we click View. It's going to go through that entire MPEG and generate where he was driving, using the GPS data. You can either see satellite or terrain. If the results don't look like something you want, once again, you're just going to click on the whole thing, let's say. Let's create a database with that to use. So that's going to overwrite the one we used. And as you can see, it's taking a bit longer because it's going through the entire drive for the day. Not a very intensive process at all on the computer, and it tells you exactly where you're at all times. Once again, it tells us that we're done, and we're going to click OK. Click View, it's going to build his path, and now we see where he went for the duration of the day. You can see these gaps here, and what that was is when he was stopping and starting the vehicle, it takes a few seconds for the GPS to kick in. So what you're going to want to do is when you get into the vehicle, wait until the light is finished blinking. Once again, we can select either satellite or terrain view to see. And we're just going to close this out, and we're going to get into some other features that we can see. We will now be covering the search functionality. So at the bottom here you see that there's the search, the reset, and the create database. What we're going to be doing is searching, and you can use any of these options. You can check the time to see what dates the drive was if you only want to see a certain range of dates. You can also check the G sensors to see if there was ever a clip where they went over the acceptable value. The one I'm going to be using for this demonstration is the speed. So I'm just going to click speed here, and I want to see any clip where the speed of 40 kilometers per hour was exceeded. So ensure all the clips are selected over here, and then click the search key with that criteria and that box checked. So it looks like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, and 3 as well were ones that were over 40 kilometers per hour in that video was exceeded. You can use this for all sorts of event types. You can use it for G sensor, once again, you can use it for time. So I'll show you what that looks like now. If we just click the make database on that, we can see some meaningful data. I'm going to be going over a couple of advanced features in the bottom here in just a moment, but I'm going to show you two other slick ones. So if we just click play and we're going to start this video, once again I have the audio muted. If you notice that you want to see something bigger in one of the screens, let's say that we want to see that red car. If you on this left window here, just double click it, it will bring up a medium view. If you want to bring it to the maximum view, double click again, and now we can see it in the large view. To get out of this, just double click one more time to go back. This works as well for the interior. We will now be covering some of the advanced features in the program. So I've already preloaded all of the stuff from previously used, and we're just going to go over the information just so we can see where we are. If you hover over any of these at the bottom, a little box will pop up to tell you what that application will do. So for this demonstration we are going to be using the screen print. By opening this, it's going to bring up exactly what we see on the VIEWi behind it, and it'll tell us what g-forces are currently on the vehicle, how fast it is going, the exact time, longitude, and latitude. So if you are going to be taking a screen capture, you simply click the preview button. It will open up a report that you can instantly just save somewhere or print it for monitoring. This way you can keep track of exactly what happened at any moment and prove it. The second feature I'm going to be doing is just the settings button here. If I click setting, it's going to open up, and it's looking for a user setup.config file that is only located in one location. We click AVIC here and go into the system folder. Double click on this file, it's going to open us up a menu. From here you can customize everything. So we've got two views. You can either use the Express or the Expert depending on what you want to see. So for most users, if you use the Express setting, you just want to be on the best, normal. It is pretty standard, but if you want to switch your time zone, you can do that. So we'll just set it to what we are right now. By clicking apply, it's going to open it up again. Double click on the config file and you just saved it. From now on, when your VIEWi records, it will record with that time zone and those settings that you change. If you're an advanced user, we encourage you to use the expert settings where you can tune the sensitivity of the G sensor and some other options here. If at any point you want your setting back to what it was originally when the VIEWi shipped, double click the config file and click default. That will set default values through the entire thing. Click apply, double click to save. Another feature that we're going to be covering is going to be the eco report. So that's down here at this data print option. Now what you do with this one right here is you set the threshold of G-sensor sensitivity to see if there are any violations, to see if somebody or yourself, you're turning too fast or anything, braking too fast, anything like that. So I'm going to set a fairly low threshold just so you can see it. So what you would then do is put in a fake plate, put in the driver name. For this I'll use myself, and remark, let's say, violations for the current day of June 28th. From here, click the make report key. It will dynamically generate any sort of violations that we have. So for this one, being that it was a low threshold, there are many violations. So by clicking the preview button here, it's going to open up the eco report so that we can generate for that day anytime anything was violated. It will have a plate number, easily save and print for record keeping purposes. If I click the Excel key, if you have Microsoft Excel installed, you can definitely pop it into an Excel document. I'm going to be going over some of the last features that the program has, some little tidbits here and there that aren't exactly mentioned in any of the previous videos. So I'm just going to start it moving, and we're going to go to the information view for this one. As you can see, this is a 1 minute long clip. I'm just going to pause it, and we're going to click this big chart key right here, right above the G sensor. This is going to open up two views. We can either see the speed throughout the entire video. We've noticed that by just easily looking at it, it was never exceeding 40 kilometers per hour. We can also go to the G sensor, and just if we want to take a look at the X plane, just uncheck the other two boxes. A very easy way to see that anywhere in the clip it was violated. This chart is more for just checking purposes as a quick look, but once again, the most efficient way around this is by searching through the videos if you want to see if a G-force value was violated. So nothing exceeded that, as it is such a low threshold, so that's perfect. So as you can see, that in the X-plane, the G-force of 0.1 was violated once by searching. Very easy to use software. Once it's playing, the last feature that we have over here is just the play speed, if you'd like to go faster or slower for the video. When there's nothing shown here in the 0, we can tell that we're back to normal play speed if you want to slow down and look at something. The last feature I'm going to be covering today is the event print. So what that is that's going to give a lot of data about a current situation that we want to see. So for the entire duration of the video, we'll take a look at where he is right now. Let's just move him forward a bit so that he's moving at a decent pace, and then we'll pause the video. So I'm just going to click the event print over here, which will bring up this right here. So the first thing you want to do is add the two images that we have. Then you will click the next key, which will open up a new prompt. As you can see, this generates not only a G-sensor view, latitude, longitude, all the G-sensor data, the pictures at that time, and if we had satellite selected, it would do a satellite. So once again, we're going to put in a fake plate just for the demonstration. Pretend the driver is me, and let's say event today, June 28th. He was going 27 at that moment, and by clicking the preview button, you're going to see all that. Generates a perfect event report for you to view all that data at any given time. This is perfect for if anything were to ever happen throughout the data, we could easily just click it and view dynamic information with dates generated, exact times, everything. So if you need any sort of data parsed, it's right there. Once again, we can easily save or print this for future keeping. That concludes the feature demonstration for the VIEWi. Expect more videos to come on our homepage at VIEWi.net. The website will always be growing, always have new content from this day forward. You can come here to register your products if you need to contact any of us. Support for both technical and business aspects. Product registration is simple. You can download our manuals. We will be putting any up-to-date software on here as it comes, as well as some videos to watch. What we're going to be doing is if you have any videos to send and we like it, we'll be hosting it on the site. But that concludes the demonstration. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us at either support@VIEWi.net or by clicking the technical support button or business support on the website.